At Mr. Tobey's house in Weston, 42 Northfield. All right. As far as tree work goes, when we're here, maybe clean the sucker growth at the top of that tree as a separate price for that. There's some sucker growth on the top that looks kind of funny. All right. This is a beautiful bloodgood maple. We want to make sure it stays beautiful and stays dense. So what I was thinking about doing is clipping back some of these branches, clipping back the canopy a little bit so it's not so wide. So clipping back some of these branches, get some more sunlight in this. And the same thing on this side so it's balanced. So clipping back some of these and some of these with the bucket truck when you're here. Maybe even some of these, just so this tree gets more sunlight and be healthier. So that, again, a separate price for that because I'm not sure if they're going to want to do that. All right. Then clean up the sucker growth on this tree, sucker growth. All right, remove the broken limbs, dead limbs out of that tree. This tree might be dead. I'm not sure. I think it might be dead, so that you got to look at that. Okay. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe that one's fine. Let's see here. Clean the sucker growth on this tree. The sucker growth. All right. Obviously, clip out. I want to shape all the dogwood trees. So there's one here. Shape that one. Shape those 3 dogwoods. Okay. Possibly shape the bloodgood a little bit. Cut it back a little bit, and then shape the other dogwood right here. All right. Remove this tree. Remove that tree. Give them a separate price for removing the hemlock tree in the front here. You got to look out for all the broken branches in some of these other trees. Okay, because that white pine tree probably has some more broken hanging branches in it. This tree looks healthy. Doesn't look like there's any issues. Again, I think these trees look pretty healthy. The hemlock looks fine. Got to give them a price for possibly removing this tree, because by the time all that storm damage happened, it doesn't look that great. So maybe removing this tree here. Cutting the branches off the house, off this tree. There's a tree that fell down. There's a couple of trees back here. So obviously there's these limbs. I think we can take care of those limbs before you get here. There's a tree that fell down over the fence in the back. Got to look for that, okay, and resolve that issue. At least get it on the ground. They might not want to remove it, but maybe just get it on the ground. Give them a price for cleaning the sucker growth on this tree. All that sucker growth, all those little limbs coming off the trunk, that'll make it look much better. Check this tree for broken limbs, as it's a dangerous tree if kids are playing over there, so we got to again check that tree for broken limbs. Same thing, these trees bordering the tennis court. I want to check those trees for broken limbs that might have to be removed. Okay, a price for shaping the American holly tree. Possibly that's an option they might consider. Before you get here, I think we'll probably end up removing the hemlock that fell over. We should be able to clean up a lot of these limbs on the ground before you get here. And again, same idea, just check for broken hanging limbs in these trees on this side. Okay. Probably a good idea to give them a price for pruning back some of the branches on these white pines so you don't get too much shade in this area. So maybe cutting those back a few feet through on this side of the pool where the lawn is. All right, so that's another little project that should probably get done. These don't look too bad. I would check for broken limbs out of the white pine tree there. And again, these look okay. There's one dead tree right here, an elm tree. That's a dead elm that has to come down. And there's some hanging limbs in this tree, this maple tree right here, that had to be cut. And there's some hanging limbs in the hemlock trees here. There's a bunch of them. They have to be cleaned out. And again, same thing. You have to clean up this tree. It's got a bunch of broken limbs. It's gonna have to be cleaned up. This tree I would just cut down altogether. This dogwood, just remove it. And again, I would shape that one because it's just sprawled out. It doesn't look right. So shape it, cut it back, probably a good 20%. And that's it. Thanks, we'll talk soon.